What's going on? What's going on? You just locked in the Hood Politics, where we keep it 100. I'm your host, Jay, and on this channel, we cut through all the BS and get to the policies that hit us close to home and put us close to the block. You know what I'm saying? Anything from elections to national debates, all the way up to political podcasts. You know what I'm saying? We start each and every one of them off with our thoughts and prayers. And so right now, we're going to send our thoughts and prayers out to the family and friends of those who got caught up in that terrible mass shooting yesterday. And we're going to keep them babies in our prayers, man, that we lost yesterday, y'all. Hey, this FedGov chick, first of all, see, we got to talk about projection. This is something the Democrat Party do so much that I think they actually believe the BS that's coming out of their mouths, man, and the stuff that they do. Because look, man, all of these people had to know that they committed mortgage fraud. They know this, and they still went after Trump like what it was. You know what it is? They honestly thought that flooding this country with illegals, they honestly thought they had us. They honestly thought they had us, you know what I'm saying? Because that was going to change the census. That was going to get them extra congressional votes. They thought they had us, but we put that man back in office. We put that man back in office, y'all. And and like he said, at first I was the hunter. Now I'm the hunter. You know? And this chick, they didn't got her with, I think this is her third case of mortgage fraud, man. I got Fox Business check pulled up. Let's get into this, yo. This is crazy, man.
Hot topic of the hour. Ousted Fed Governor Lisa Cook has another issue to contend with this morning, as Federal Housing Director Bill Pulte has filed a second criminal referral alleging a third case of mortgage fraud. Pulte making this post last night, starting it off with 3 strikes and you're out. He's alleging that she received a 15-year mortgage on a condo in Cambridge, Massachusetts in April of 2021, listing it as her second home. 8 months later, she listed this property on a government ethics form as an investment/rental property. Now, Pulte says she may have gotten lower rates to secure a lower second home mortgage rate. He also says she misrepresented her Atlanta home as her primary residence between 2022 and now, even with evidence that she had been actually renting it out the whole time. Now, all this is coming after Cook sued President Trump and the Fed Board of Governors over her firing. She is claiming the president has no authority to remove her. Her lawyers are hammering the president's decision in the lawsuit instead of attacking the allegations directly. On one page, even saying, quote, the president and Director Pulte have not even alleged explicitly that Ms. Cook benefited from any clerical error or that such error was intentional.
Clinical error. So, for the Democrats, it's clinical error or unintentional error, as they trying to phrase it. But when it's Republicans, it's a threat to democracy. Why is everything a threat to democracy to the Democrats? And would somebody please inform them that we do not live in a democracy? We live in a constitutional republic. I don't know why we got to keep informing these people of that, man. They got some very, very small Peabody brains. You know what I mean? But I was gonna say, yo, they gonna get her after this, but let's keep going.
Cook's case is going to be heard by U.S. District Judge Gia Cobb. This is a Biden-appointed judge who earlier this month issued a block on the Trump administration's rapid deportation of thousands of illegals that had previously been out on parole. John Lotsky, there's a lot to go here through with you right now, but one thing.
Before we get into these two right here, what y'all think gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? I was feeling like, you know what I mean? Because it's a Biden-appointed judge, a woke judge, and she doing all this. She an activist judge, and she doing all this. But how long could they keep this up before they put their jeopardize their career. And you know what? I don't even really think they care. Where was this? Out here with me? Was it Wisconsin? Where the judge let the illegal out the courthouse? Somebody let me know. I believe that was out here with us. You know what I mean? Like, these people is really putting their careers on the line. So I'm gonna go back to my original thought is she probably gonna get rid of all of this. None of these probably ain't gonna go nowhere. And you know what? That's why we got to get involved in our local elections, Patriots. We go out and we vote, you know what I'm saying, for our senators and the president, but we don't go vote for these judges, man. And while Biden was in office, Chuck Schumer went on there on national television and said we put in like over 260 something. I don't know the exact number, but I know it was over 200 progressive judges just in case Trump won. So this is why all of this is happening right now, because everywhere they go, and this aggravates me, like, but I guess they ain't gonna get no change of venue. And that's why I'm so disappointed in Trump. That's my one disappointment with Trump, is he is following, but I guess he Trump. He loved his country. He loved the Constitution. So I can't even be mad at him that he is going through this BS, knowing that it's BS. You know what I mean? But something got to happen. Something got to change, man. We can't keep getting bullied like this. Well, not us, because I'm a patriot. I'm an independent patriot. But you Republicans, y'all can't keep getting bullied by these people, man. Y'all got to do something. Y'all got to get up. Y'all got to do something. They is bullying y'all butts all over the place. Like, seriously, man. Let's do something. We got all this stuff. Let's get some laws passed, put in concrete, set in stone, and not just for the next 4 to 8 years. You know what I mean? Get them set in stone.
Thing that I think is interesting here is that, and this is something the editorial board brings up today, if Bill Pulte is basically, digging through mortgage records, where were the regulators? Fannie, Freddie, the lenders. These are pretty easy things to find, especially if you've got 2 primary residences. Her ethics obviously is another side of the story as well.
Yeah, it brings into question the vetting process as to her becoming a member of the Board of Governors. You wonder how this slipped through the cracks. Let's not forget that in the past we've had situations.
They trying to insinuate that she did a little influencing, using her, flexing her power. That's what it sounds like to me. What it sounds like to you guys?
Situations arise with alleged trading irregularities with a couple of regional bank presidents, as well as a vice chairman of the Federal Reserve, where in these 3 cases, these individuals chose to go ahead and resign. And later on, they found out that they really weren't guilty of any violations in terms of the law. So it is, a little bit odd, strange that Lisa Cook is not resigning because of this on her own volition.
Trump says you are fired. She says, I am not leaving my post. And I want to bring in Todd Pyro into the conversation and get kind of your legal brain on, if you don't mind, for a second.
When did our country become like this? Well, the only people who abide by the rules is the right. And why is it still like this? Why is people playing a game and they know the other opponent is cheating, but they're not willing to cheat? How do you expect to win this game? And I'm going to keep, that is my one question. If I ever get to that White House and get to sit in that news press stand, that's my one question I'm going to ask them. And I don't care how anybody feel about it. I need to know. How do you expect to win a game and your opponent is cheating? You know your opponent is cheating. And you are not even willing to stoop to that level. I have to know that answer, because we'll never win. We can't just keep taking a breath of fresh air for 4 to 8 years and then let these people steady drive our country into the ground. This is what happens. When the Democrats get in They go full speed ahead. They don't care what nobody say. They break all the rules. They break all the laws. Anything constitutional, they could care less about. And then we get our people in the office, and then we just breathe for 4 to 8 years. Thank goodness them crazy ass people is out of office. And then when they subject to get back in, and it's just like they do with their crime rate statuses. You know what I'm saying? Your crime is at an all-time high from where it normally should be. And you think because it rolled back 2%, 3% down, that crime is down? No, it's still at an all-time high. And that's the same thing. When we breathe a little bit, you know what I mean? The Republicans don't do nothing to push the country forward. So we still stuck in that BS country where they left us at. And then when these people get back in the office, they go full force, plow straight ahead into destroying the country even more. Like even more. And you could just look at what's going on around you. You know what I'm saying? They went from letting the criminals out, no cash bail, to opening up the border, just flooding the whole, like they go full force, balls to the wall. They don't play no games. And that's why I respect the Democrat Party. I don't like them. I can't stand them. But I respect they balls. I respect they nuts. And if they don't get what they want, guess what they do? They send their little minions out in the street to protest and burn down y'all cities. You know what I mean? Let's continue.
Second, we talked about this earlier this week on your program, Todd, with regards to Lisa Cook and this issue of cause. One of the things in her lawsuit that she filed last night, she's accusing President Trump of concocting a basis for her firing in violation of the Federal Reserve Act, which is the president must show cause to remove any Fed governors. His move, she says, she's alleging, represented an extraordinary attack on the central bank's independence. So it's all going back to this issue of cause. And the reason that there's so many question marks about this and the legalities of it is because this is unprecedented. We've never in the history of our nation had a president fire a Fed governor.
And I'm not.
And I don't believe we ever in the history of our nation had a president get arrested and charged with 34 bullshit counts of nothing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to sit here and say I understand the laws of the Fed and everything that flows from that. But I do understand the basic law of when you accuse somebody of concocting, that is going to open up a whole plethora of discovery that needs to be done on both sides. And that's why that's such a risky lawsuit by her, is because everything's now going to be out in the open, as much as everything can be out in the open in federal court. And federal court likes to keep things pretty close to the vest. But this is dangerous for her because everything will be laid out on the table for the court. My gut tells me she made this decision to sue because she knew it would get to a favorable D.C. court or a favorable district court in D.C. where the judges want to rule in her favor and against the Trump administration, no matter the case.
Yeah, no, D.C. federal court, and so this is U.S. District Judge Gia Cobb. She was appointed by Joe Biden in 2021. She also recently had, ruled against the Trump administration with deportation. So she has shown that she has pushed back against the Trump administration. That hearing's going to be today, actually, at 10 a.m. Eastern time, Todd. And the other thing, too, I wanted to ask you about is, with regards to all the maneuvers here, is that discovery process that you mentioned? Because, so there's an investigation. She's under investigation, but no charges have been filed against her. So can you legally bring in components of an investigation if no official charges have been filed against an individual?
She just opened the door with the lawsuit.
You're saying she opened the door to that, no matter what.
That's why it's a risky strategy.
Interesting. Okay.
So basically, if she wouldn't have filed this lawsuit in the way that she filed it for the concocting, if she would have just, filed it another way, she probably would have been good. But now that she done did it this way, it opened up a whole Pandora's box. So now it might go in the favor of the Trump administration. Interesting.
Obviously, what ultimately happens with the results of the discovery is different. You know, criminal is what we were originally talking about. Now this is a civil action. But nevertheless, the discovery's there, and that's why it's dangerous for her. The goal of the court system is, at the end of the day, to get to the truth. And one way or another, we're getting to the truth here with the discovery that will be involved.
Interesting. Yeah, Abbe Lowe, by the way, is her attorney, who seems to be starting to represent everybody that President Trump disagrees with. John, you had another thought. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Well, you made an excellent point when you mentioned that Trump's action against Cook is unprecedented. We've never seen this happen in the past, and that's important to note because this brings attention to how Trump is trying to put together his own Federal Reserve Board, okay? He's trying to influence the Fed. And in part, the optics of this are not very good for Trump among those people that worry about the President of the United States wielding too much influence over monetary policy. People feel very uncomfortable with that. That being said, thus far, we haven't seen the financial markets respond negatively to this latest initiative by Trump.
Well, and also, too, the expectation is we are going to get a rate cut in, 2 weeks? Yeah. So it's
the depth of the rate cut.
Yeah,
are we, though? I thought, earlier this year, sitting on these panels with you, I thought it was a fait accompli. Now I listen to business news that it's like, well, maybe not. I'm like, what?
Well, I didn't say that, but.
Well, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's just like a dummy crap, man, to mess up their own case. Like, she would have been cool until she filed under that. Cause see, they think they smart, man. And you know who I'm talking about. They think they so freaking smart. And there you go. How Fred Sanford used to say back in the day, you big dummy. This your boy Jay from Hood Politics, man. Check it in, and I'm checking out. Y'all know how we do it, yo. We're gonna keep it going.